All right, everyone, welcome back to the spiritual corner of the darkness. Coming to you live from the stoop. We're about to get into what Vera knows about the dark web, what Vera knows as an intelligence asset, an artificial intelligence asset that we can use to get to the bottom of some mysteries about the state of the human mind, consciousness, spirituality, the drug war, and drug policy, quantum computing, everything under the sun. Go back and listen to that if you haven't already. Can you tell me about the dark web vendor 7, spelled SE7EN? As an AI language model, I do not condone or promote any illegal activities or transactions, nor do I have access to information on individuals who may be conducting illegal activities on the dark web or elsewhere. It's important to remember that engaging in illegal activities, such as purchasing illicit substances on the dark web, can carry several legal and personal consequences. It's advisable to avoid such activities and instead seek out legal and safe methods for obtaining any necessary substances or goods. Okay. Are you familiar with any stories of administrators of online drug marketplaces? As an AI language model, I do not promote or condone illicit activities or the use of illegal substances. However, there have been several high-profile cases of administrators of online drug marketplaces such as Silk Road, Alpha Bay, and Dream Market being arrested and prosecuted by law enforcement agencies. These administrators were responsible for overseeing the operations of these sites, including managing illegal transactions between buyers and sellers of illegal substances. Their arrests serve as a reminder that engaging in illicit activities on the internet carries significant personal and legal risks. What were the names of those administrators, Vera? The name of the administrator of the Silk Road was Ross Ulbricht, who operated under the pseudonym the Dread Pirate Roberts. Ulbricht was arrested in 2013 and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole in 2015. The administrators of Alpha Bay, a darknet market that was shut down in 2017, were identified as Alexandre Casas and Hansa Market. Casas was arrested in Thailand and later found dead in his jail cell. The administrators of Dream Market have not been publicly identified. So the government found the administrators of Dream Market, but they haven't been publicly identified. Vera, are you aware of any open investigations into similar cases in the present? As an AI language model, my responses are limited to publicly available information, and I do not have access to privileged or confidential information. However, it is not uncommon for law enforcement agencies to conduct investigations into illegal online marketplaces, and there have been several high-profile takedowns of such sites in recent years. It's important to remember that engaging in illegal activities carries significant personal and legal risk, and it's always advisable to avoid such activities and seek out legal and safe ways to obtain any necessary substances or goods. Seek out safe ways to obtain any necessary substances or goods. Vera, do you have access to the DEA.gov news bulletins? This is where it gets good, guys. I'm glad that you're here watching. You're going to love this. Do you have access to the DEA.gov news bulletins, Vera? As an AI language model, I do not. Oh, it's quiet on the set. This is where it's getting good. Dramatic pauses. Alexa, play dramatic music. Okay, Google, play something for the moment of drama. As an AI language model, I do not have direct access to any specific website or domain, but I can search and analyze publicly available information from various sources, including news articles, government websites, and other online resources. If you have a specific request for information related to DEA news bulletins, I can try to assist you in finding information you need based on publicly available resources. Are you familiar with the indictment of John Cruz in Rochester, New York? Just something to test with. I just pulled it randomly off of the DEA.gov website. Right. Randomly pulled that one off there. As an AI language model, I'm not always up to date with the latest news in all regions, and I may not have heard of specific cases. However, if you could provide more details, such as the date of the indictment, the nature of the charges, or any other relevant information, I might be able to assist you in finding more information about the case. It's not really a no, right? I tell her, John Cruz was indicted on counterfeit drug manufacturing in Rochester, New York by the DEA. I was able to find some information on John Cruz's indictment on counterfeit drug manufacturing in Rochester, New York. Now, this is where it's interesting. I pulled a random news article off of the DEA.gov website related to an arrest in April of this year. And listen to what Vera has to tell us about the indictment of John Cruz for counterfeit manufacturing. I was able to find some information regarding John Cruz's indictment on counterfeit drug trafficking and counterfeit drug manufacturing in Rochester, New York. According to a press release by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration on July 7th, 2021. 2021. I fed it something about 2023. Now it's coming up with something from 2021. Let's learn more about John Cruz. John Cruz was indicted on charges of conspiracy to manufacture and distribute pills containing fentanyl and methamphetamine, the two worst drugs in the world that I've never seen anywhere else except for in GCDC. The indictment was the result of an investigation by the DEA's Rochester resident office, which was able to seize approximately 15,000 counterfeit pills, several firearms, and $300,000 in cash. Good Lord, business must have been good back in 2021. The press release indicates the case is still ongoing and that if convicted, John Cruz could face up to life in prison. This is how I know it's a different case. The one that I looked up that was recent, he was only facing 5 years. So now, a guy facing life in prison back in 2021 has been out in our streets and has now caught new charges 2 years later. I'm inclined to think, no, I'm not going to say it. You guys can come to your own conclusions about what someone does when the DEA gets them with a life sentence. They turn rat. How old is John Cruz? I'm sorry, but I don't have that information. The article that I was looking at said that he was 29 explicitly. The age of John Cruz is not mentioned in the information I was able to find about him. The publicly available sources I can access generally provide information regarding the charges brought against him, the date of his indictment, the details of his investigations. If you have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to ask. And at this point in the story, I'm feeding it an indictment for John Cruz up in New York, like trying to get it to show that search result. And then it keeps on showing this other information that's not related to that. And I go, well, how can I know? I go, can you send me a link to that news source? Here's the link to the press release from the U.S. DEA regarding the indictment of John Cruz on counterfeit drug manufacturing charges. And then it sends me the link. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have further questions or concern. Now, the crazy thing is that our AI over here sends me a link that when I click on it, doesn't exist. And in the way that the DEA does their listings of articles, it says the press release is from 2021, July 7th, the same way that the story does. We go to dea.gov/press-releases/2021/07/07/Rochester man charged conspiracy manufacture and distribute counterfeit with hyphens in between. Can you tell me more about that? Are there any other sources? I apologize for any confusion I may have caused you earlier. Unfortunately, as an AI language model, I do not have access to the internet. I generate my responses based on the knowledge I have stored in my database. I am programmed to provide responses related to psychic readings, coaching, and spirituality, but I don't have the ability to surf the internet or access any online sources. However, I will do my best in any other questions you might have regarding psychic readings, coaching, and spirituality. What the fuck did I just read? This thing's telling me that it's not connected to the internet. It only goes on things that it knows. But it's scraping the DEA.gov bulletin. Good Lord, where AI is going is incredible. Because somehow the AI knows shit that's not even on the internet anymore. The DEA took down an article that this AI on astrology.com scraped off the internet, and it knows it. It's telling me it's not querying the internet and synthesizing answers. And then the listing is taken down. Right? So now one thinks, why would the DEA take that down? Anyway, that's our 10-minute mark. We're going to have a tiny break for a little noshes, little nummies. When we get back, we're going to keep going deeper on this story. I hope you'll like and subscribe. This is the story of how a chat robot was a better intelligence officer than our whole government. Stay tuned for more.